The Silly Goose Gang Podcast.
Here we go, and we are back, episode 56 of the Silly Goose Gang Podcast, and I'm delighted to be introducing 22-year US Army veteran Pat McNamara from the University of Badassery podcast. So Pat, thank you very much for joining us this evening or this afternoon your time, so thanks very much.
Yeah, thanks guys for having me. I appreciate it.
How's life in America right now for you, Pat? You've had some craziness going on.
Yeah, I mean, it's well, the more you believe the news, the crazier it is.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's really not that bad. Things and then depending on where you are, state to state, the rules are different as far as like quarantine, masking, all that stuff. So it fluctuates depending on what state you were in. But you know, it's really not that crazy. I think the news is turning it into a frenzy and you know, creating fear and angst and all this crap. But yeah, it's pretty good. Everything's good. I'm happy. I'm on top of the world.
That's one of the best things about you. That's one of the things that I love about you, following your following your Instagram and stuff, is your positive outlook, and you seem quite excitable, quite kind of all the time. Just kind of fucking happy to be here, happy to be alive, and keep swinging.
Yeah, man. Well, I think, you know, I attribute some of that good attitude to bad times in my life. You know, when you've wallowed through a mire of crap and you've been in a downward spiral and you almost hit rock bottom, you appreciate life a lot more. And so I just try to also relay that message through the interwebs. I feel that if you've got a big following, you've got a responsibility. You know, you have to be responsible with that, because it's sort of like an element of power, and what you do with that power can persuade or sway an audience either negatively or positively. I would just rather go positive, because I'm not faking it. What you see is what you get on the interwebs. I mean, I am a positive person and with a positive outlook on life. I don't appreciate and follow a bunch of negative crap. I try to achieve separation from that because it's contagious. Positivity is contagious, and so is negativity. And I don't want to be, you know, caught up in that doom and gloom world where everything's bad and there's so much freaking hate and disdain and all this division. It's freaking horseshit. There's not a lot. You know, the news is telling us that there's a lot of it, but I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing that you bring up there, because you have, you know, a fairly huge online following, and you know, the fact that you feel that you have to put, or no, you feel responsible for what you put out there. Is that something that, you know, do you think about that daily, or do you not have to think about it because you're just so upbeat anyway? Does it just come natural to you now, or do you still have to think about what you're posting?
Well, no, I really do. I think about it. It's funny because, like, for instance, the basic dude stuff that I post on my
fucking hilarious, by the way,
my Instagram and YouTube, that there I put a lot of thought into. You know, I want to make sure that it's palatable to a broad audience, because I have a lot of little kids from all over the planet watching basic dude stuff. Yeah. I mean, I get more messages from parents filming their kids than any other demographic. So I have to be careful with that. Like, guys will tell, you know, they'll say, hey man, don't forget, you know, giving your wife an orgasm is basic dude stuff. I'm like, yes, of course it is, but I'm not going to post that on basic dude stuff. You know, yes, pissing off a shit stain in the freaking toilet bowl is basic dude stuff, but I'm not going to put it up there. You know, I want to make sure that it's real clean content. I'm careful about what's in the background and all that stuff. When I do workout stuff though, it's a little more rated PG, because I've always got metal cranking in the background. And you know, it's not rated G, you know, that's not intended for kids, but parents show their kids basic dude stuff. You know, that's who brings it to them, because kids aren't necessarily following me, but they look forward to basic dude stuff Wednesdays. The workout thing, I have an obligation because I'm I'm inspiring people. I'm motivating them. So a lot of guys will ask me, bro, what in the hell motivates you? And sometimes I'll respond back, am I motivating you? And they're like, yeah. If I'm motivating you, then that's what's inspiring me. That's what's burning my fire.
Mhm.
You know, iron sharpens iron, that kind of thing. So I need your fire in order for me to fire you up. So, I owe a debt to the audience that follows me because they're firing me up, man. They're holding my feet to the fire.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we have one of the coolest things that me and Ali have talked about this ourselves. Our jiu-jitsu instructor is John's 53, maybe 54 now, and they have a little. They're still doing it. They do it outside now because they're not allowed to be in the gym. But they have like the old guys session on a Saturday. All guys in their 50, and all
Nice.
fucking savages, killing it, really getting after it, really strong guys. And we look at it. I'm 36, Ali's 41. And we look at that and go, fuck, man, sorry. I want to be doing that shit when I'm fucking 53, 54, 55 years old, man. That's awesome. So that encourages us, man. And everybody feeds off each other.
Mm-hmm. I call that old man strength. When our gyms were still active, I'd grapple with some of the guys in there, and you kind of know how to, it's knowledge versus wisdom, that kind of thing. So you kind of know where to take shortcuts, when to rest, when to just hang on to somebody and wear them down, that kind of thing. Yeah. But, I don't, I'm a little tentative when it comes to working out, only because I don't want to get jacked up. I don't want to get hurt. Yeah. So I'm a little bit of a puss now when it comes to sparring.
This is but I mean, this, we were, I was going to say we were talking about it this morning, but that's not true because I wasn't training this morning with anybody because that would be illegal. But if I was training this morning, we were talking about it. We were talking about doing leg locks and jiu-jitsu. And if it doesn't matter, if you're 50 whatever year old, as long as you're training with guys, you're cool and understand that I might break a little bit easier or whatever it is. You should be fine. Like it's when you get assholes who are 23 and want to make a name for themselves. Right, that's the fucking idiots you need to watch out for. But if you're training with a cool bunch of guys.
Yep, that's a good point. I there's a course I teach called Sentinel, and I do a little fight block of instruction in there. And it always amazes me how many adults can't fight. They can't throw blows. They don't know. So I do a street fight philosophy, and I start them with bare bone basic boxing. From a non-aggressive posture. And I always tell them, I encourage them. I says, people will ask me, what's the best style out there? I'm like, bro, whatever style you're best at, it doesn't freaking matter. Whatever one you're good at, that's the best style. Don't match style for style. But I will encourage them to try to do some sparring. Because with sparring with boxing, you get non-telegraphic motions, zone awareness, fear management, spontaneity. You get those intangibles. And I always say, but you have to spar with somebody a lot better than you. Because if you spar with somebody at equal level or somebody who's not as good, it's just going to turn into an ass-kicking contest because they're looking through a straw. They've got no peripheral vision. They don't know how to relax, and you're going to get waylaid on. It's just going to turn into an ass-kicking contest. And yeah, you'll get toughened up, but you're not going to learn anything except just that you're tougher. That you can you're going to learn that you could take a punch, which is good, but so it's important, to make sure that when you're mixing it up, that you're not looking to hurt each other.
Yeah. So I watched, your episode of 100 Deadly Skills. Mm-hmm. So now, I was speaking to Ali this morning, and she's saying, I was very impressed with what you were, your ideas with boxing. Very basic stuff. Right. Where I come from an amateur boxing background, Pat. So people who forget things about tucking your chin in. So when you throw a jab, this has got to be tucked in. Right. You see guys throwing a punch and the chin's up here, and you're just waiting to get knocked out.
Yep. So I've got a good anecdote about that. I mean, so I have a fight background. I wrestled a lot. I was a good wrestler. if I'm going to toot my horn about something, I would say that I was a good wrestler. I did Taekwondo. I did Muay Thai in Thailand. Some BJJ. And we would spar, and this is early 90s. We were doing MMA before there was MMA. Excuse me, sorry about that. And I was doing that, throwing a jab, keeping my chin up, and boom, lights out. Professional. I was sparring with a guy who boxed professionally, because we had a few of them in my unit when I was active, and lights out, just like that. Bam. The one that you don't see is the one that's going to hurt you.
Yes, sir.
And then so I went back to the drawing board and did about 4 years of nothing but boxing, to clinch, to kick, to knee, just all the bare bone basics again.
Yeah. It's we've said this before, but I boxed for nearly 10 years, was not bad at all. Now moving into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, it's the same thing in terms of people want to do all the fancy shit, but they don't understand how to manage range. They don't understand how do you get from out here to in here? How do you close that gap without getting caught with something? If people are so obsessed with doing boxing, throwing. I see all the time now on Instagram and Facebook and whatever, as guys doing these fucking stupid choreographed punch combinations on the pads. That's awesome, man. That's not going to win you anything, because if somebody knows something, they'll step in, they'll step out, they'll create an angle. It's fucking meaningless. And jiu-jitsu is the same. Everybody wants to learn how to spin and kick. Fucking pass guard.
Yep. Right.
It's like guard. fucking basic dude stuff.
That's right. Passing guard is basic dude stuff. Exactly. Yeah. Or like you said, not getting there in the first place. Staying out of that zone. When you see like somebody films a street fight, guys are nose to nose. It's like, well, this is going to go poorly for one, for both, for either. It's just not going to.
One of the things that I find it funny in my own head is that I haven't done some boxing, some jiu-jitsu, not terrible at either, not amazing at either. But one of the things that I'm so glad that it's helped me not get into fights. But I'm also quite upset because I don't get into fights, because it also be quite fun to how easily you could beat somebody up, right? Like that would be quite fun. So I'm glad for both things. But yeah, it's the
way I see it is, guys who know how to fight aren't going to start fights. Guys who know how to fight are going to try to mitigate or de-escalate the situation. That's guys who know how to fight. And those are the ones you have to think, oh man, because it's always a bully or an untrained guy who's just maybe big in stature or has got a lot of moxie that's going to start a fight. He probably doesn't know shit when it comes to real fighting, though. He's been in a couple bar brawls. He started some shit and throwing some freaking haymakers.
It's funny because whenever I'm not that I go out, haven't been out in a year because of this stupid pandemic, but even before that, I don't really drink in bars. Maybe to watch a big boxing match. If Anthony Joshua's fighting or Tyson Fury's fighting, we might go to a bar and watch it. But I've got friends who have never fought, have no interest in fighting, but they like to go out to watch the boxing or whatever. And the big guys in bars, the guys fucking full of steroids, big tattoos all up the neck.
Yep.
And jacked. And they're walking out like this, and everybody go, "Oh man, let's watch out for that guy, man. He looks, and I just go, he is not the problem,
right?
This little guy who's got some cauliflower in his ear.
That's right.
Those little very relaxed,
those telltale scars over the eyebrows.
This guy's the one that I'm concerned about.
And you can see it in his eyes, man. I will size that up in a nanosecond. I'm like,
I'll look at that shit and go,
this is somebody who doesn't need to be trifled with right here. But the big muscle head, like, that's an easy fix.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
it's strange though, isn't it, that all guys think they can fight even when they can't. They think it's basic dude stuff to be able to fight until it comes to the actual physical fight, and as you say, they're swinging haymakers from the back pocket.
Yep, they think all guys think they could fuck good and run a barbecue pit also.
So what I was going to say, Baz, we've said this before. Like every guy thinks he can fuck really well. He can fight his ass off and he can race cars. and they can't ever do any of them. That's the funny thing. Every young guy thinks that that's the three things that he's good. Yeah, it's funny. It's funny that translates across the Atlantic as well.
Yep. Yeah, and and I've done fighting stuff in Basic Dude stuff and driving. I've done a couple driving skits where I'm doing some evasive driving, like J turns. And I said, knowing how to do some evasive driving is Basic Dude stuff, because I've been through 7 high-speed driving schools. And but yeah, man, you're right. Yep, guys think they're masters at all of the things.
It's very true. I've done. I did a little bit of racing, some circuit stuff in my younger years when I had. Actually, when I lived at home and I didn't have any bills to pay, and I could afford to go racing, it's fucking awesome fun, man. I love. I did a little bit of car racing. Again, I've said this before in the podcast. I'm like the world's most average man. I'm not good at anything. But I kind of know how to do a lot. I'm just not good at anything.
That's funny because I remember saying that to my wife at the birth of Basic Dude stuff. We were sitting up. I was drinking bourbon, and we were ordering some new appliances, and she said, "Yeah, we could have our friend who's a plumber install this stuff." And I looked at her. I said, "Rebecca, I could install this crap." She goes, "Can you?" I said, "Yes, I could do all of the things, all of the stuff I can do." I said, "I can't do like advanced. I can't build a house, but I could fix a house. I can't rebuild an engine, but I could fix one. I could do all of the, the basic stuff, the Basic Dude stuff." And that's how it was formed. I wrote that down real fast. But I say the same thing too. I'm a jack of all trades, master at none. But I think it's important, to want to know how to do things, to be interested. And if you're interested, you become interesting also. And I think you're a better listener too, because if you're interested, if the sun doesn't rise and set on your ass, then you're going to pick up a lot more information. And for a lot of us who are interested in things, driving, artwork, poetry, whatever it is, guns, doesn't matter, fighting, you want to pick up more information. It becomes habitual.
It's also, I think, I know, for myself, as I've gotten older now, I've now taken an interest in, learning how to make things. So that I want to start making knives. I want to learn. I have no idea how to do it. I'm going to be fucking awful for a long time, but I want to learn how to do it. I want to be able to take bits of wood, fucking turn, make bowls and cups. I want to learn how to do that shit because I don't know. I just think I find it interesting. So, and what's strange is nobody in my family was like that at all. Nobody in my family ever done. I don't know. I'm a fucking weird outlier in my family.
Yeah, right.
Nobody ever fought, or it's just bizarre. Strange that comes along, but I don't know if that's an age thing where I don't know. I think you go one way or the other. You become a great big fat old man who, watches sports and tells everybody how, he had trials with whoever was the great team.
Some of that you might be able to chalk up to ADD, because like I was ADD as a kid, and when you're a kid, it's a curse. You can't study well. You can't wrap your head around a book. You fidget, and you're interested. You're a daydreamer in school, all that stuff. But when you're older, it becomes a blessing because you know how to harness it and use it to help better the person that you are. Just my opinion on that. I don't know. I don't know if there's science to back that up or not. I'm just spitballing.
I would agree with that because I wasn't diagnosed with ADD or anything, but I was hyperactive. I still am quite hyper at times, even at 42 years old. I can get a little bit hyper about things. And again, I think it applies that you can kind of use that energy to dive in and out of things more than just focus on maybe one single thing. I'd agree on that. I definitely think that's definitely a ring of truth to that.
It's funny how you brought up the metal work and making knives, because that's one of the things on my to-do list down the road. I would love to, because guys send me knives from all over the world. They say, because I have I don't know how, but I have a knife collection. I'm not much of a knife guy. I mean, I carry a pocket knife, and when I'm in the woods, I carry a bush knife. but I've become a knife guy because people send me knives, and now they know I have a knife collection and they want to be a part of it. And I look at some of these things, I'm like, these are so cool. And some of them are crude, like you could tell this guy just started out and he wanted me, he wanted to gift me a piece that, where some of them are just absolute works of freaking art.
Yeah.
It's like, wow. The amount of, you could just tell this is an expert. The guy who built this bush knife is a freaking, he's very passionate about his craft. So yeah, it's funny you said that because I would love to do that too.
Yeah, it's we had on Laura Zera who has a book. So she sent us a book each, and it's one of those things that I like the idea of making things like craftsman, like you're saying, craftsmanship.
Right.
So if you watch this is real nerdy stuff now, but if you see somebody who's welded something, like a real good blacksmith who's welded something beautifully well, like a beautiful weld is something that you can look at and go, this guy spent a fucking lifetime to get this perfect. And it's a beautiful thing to, like, I don't understand art. Painting to me is like, I don't fucking, if I look at something that's beautiful made, I go, fuck man, that's so nice. I love that. So yeah, I like the idea of making things, and I'm getting worse as I get older, or better as I get older, whatever you want to look at it, I guess. But yeah, I like the idea of these things.
Yeah, man, I'm totally with you on that, and I think one feeds the other two when it comes to welding, because that's also something that I don't do. I could solder, but I can't weld, and I would love to be able to learn how to do that. But sometimes I have a lot of, I'm hobby heavy, man. Oh my God, I'm hobby heavy. And sometimes you just don't have enough room for it. So you have to prioritize, or money, because some will absorb, money.
Hence why I stopped racing cars.
Right. That's a heavy one.
That shit gets expensive.
That's a money sucker there. Yeah. It's like the guns thing. That's expensive. Guns, ammo, but that's something that it's not just a hobby for me. I make a living off of that as well. And, but yeah, you have to make room. I've had to streamline, every once in a while. It's like, oh man, I got to put the drums in storage. Are you freaking kidding me? I just like them out. It's not like I play every day. I might play once every 2 months, but I want to be able to go to it and do it, but they're taking up a lot of room, that kind of thing. So, yeah,
it's so funny because I tried to learn how to play guitar when I was, maybe 18, 19. I am still not musical in the slightest. But I found myself, especially during lockdown, going, maybe I should just buy an acoustic guitar. And then it's like, where do I put an acoustic guitar? It'll just lie around. But then it's like, I might still buy one just because when I'm lying on the couch.
Right. Yeah.
Night,
just have it. Plus, if you have a stand for it, it looks good, and if somebody comes over, you could wow them by them thinking that you're a great musician. You play? Oh yeah, sure, yeah, I play. Yeah, not right now. I have some little bit of, there's something going on here. Some kind of syndrome is afflicting my fingers, so I can't play for you at this moment. But because I have a cello in the house. Okay. And neither my wife or I play, but she played when she was a kid. And so one Christmas, I got her a cello, thinking maybe she could rekindle this, love for music. But neither one of us play it, but it looks cool in the living room on a stand, But one day I'll jump on that as well. I'll be a cello player too. Guitar, drums, and cello.
This is it's hilarious speaking to you because it seems like you're very much like me, where your brain just fires in a million directions. You just like fucking see things. Go, why can't I fucking do that? I think I could build a space. I think I could build a spaceship. If I had the stuff, I think I could do it.
Yeah,
do it. Do you know what I mean? Like,
just with the shit that's in my shed, I'm pretty sure I could build a spaceship. Yeah, I just need to figure out how to fuel it. And then you get sidetracked and you start making rocket fuel. It's like, whoa, hold on. No, let me get to. Yeah, I have to prioritize my world. I live on a series of whiteboards. So I have right in front of me over my computer, I have year calendar. So, there's very little white space in it. And then in my laundry room, I have tasks for the week. or, pending tasks for maybe this month, stuff that is not meant for the calendar. Calendar is work stuff. But like, for instance, Silly Goose podcast, that's up on my laundry room calendar, on my, on that whiteboard. And then I have another whiteboard in the kitchen. And this one keeps me on track for day-to-day functioning. It's my mission essential task list. So that way I won't get sidetracked. These are my priorities. So like tonight, I'll have 5 or 6 things on that kitchen whiteboard, just a small whiteboard. And those, besides for work, fulfillment, all the bullshit that goes into my day-to-day activities, what are my chores for tomorrow? What is the workout I'm going to do? And what is my main focus? So that keeps me on track working off of those whiteboards. And I always recommend it to people, if you don't have focus, or if you're not, mission driven, get a whiteboard and put a few things on it. So that way you go to bed, sort of with focus to sleep, because that tomorrow you are going to be productive in daily activities, because you wake up thinking, yeah, today, besides just for work, I'm going to fix this thing that's been broken for 2 years. I'm going to maybe till this chunk of earth so I could plant in another, when growing season comes around, whatever it is, just that mission essential task list. So for me, that's, I live my life off of those 3 things: year, month, and day-to-day whiteboards, so I don't get sidetracked.
Is this is that a military grounding that gives you those disciplines to do that?
Yeah, I especially, so my entire career was special ops, 22 years, nothing but special ops. And then my last 13 years, I was in a tier 1 unit. I was in the top tier 1 unit. And we did a lot off of planning boards. And so we had one for the squadron, a planning board for the troop, and a planning board for the team. So it's kind of the same thing. So I'm kind of still working in that environment with those 3 different planning boards. So I probably, there's probably some crossover. I more than likely took it from that.
Yeah, it's
makes
it's having I don't know how people get through in a light, if somebody plans out those things, like for a week, doing it for a week would be fairly easy, but to do that, week after week, month after month, year after year, it's when the discipline becomes, anybody can do something for, this amount of time, but doing it for a lifetime becomes super difficult. So you have to be, pretty disciplined.
When you do it for that long, it just becomes a way of life. It's not, you're just self-governed now. You're not, it's not a task. It's not a chore. It's just something that is a day-to-day activity. And you realize that, you can't, not that you can't live without it, but you depend on it. So it's no longer laborious, it's no longer, work. It's just the flow of things.
The way you get things done.
And it will help with the discipline as well. You become more disciplined the more you do it, because then, like you just said, Pat, your annual planner has very little white space in it. So if there is a big block of white space, you can sit and go, what am I going to do with that white space? Is it going to be a vacation? Is there a course I can run? And then all the bits that, if you're running one of your courses, there must be some planning in advance that goes to the monthly one, that then goes down to the daily one. So it's the macro to the micro as well, moving across the various levels.
Yep, absolutely. And, if I have, if my kitchen whiteboard doesn't have tasks on it for the next day, I will make shit up. I will go look for shit to do and put it on there. As far as off time goes, every once in a while, like if I have an hour or let's say 2 hours of like free time, all of a sudden, wow, disposable time. Holy shit. I'm going to do something fun in there. I'm not going to sit down and watch TV. I'm going to do something, I've got a field across the street where I might go, because I live on a decommissioned golf course. So I'll just go across the street and bash balls. It's like, oh man, because it's like I have my own private golf course. it's not groomed or anything, but I could still bash balls there. And my wife takes care of vacation. She will force them on me. She doesn't fuck around. She will come right into my office and she'll look at the calendar, go, hey, what's going on this week right here? I said, what do you mean? She goes, are you going anywhere? I said, no, but I've got a course before then and after them. So I've got admin, I've got, maintenance on gear. I know I'll have to fix some stuff, order a bunch of things. She'll just get a black Sharpie and put a line right through like 5 days and say, we're going somewhere on these days. I don't know where yet, but we're going. And I'm like, Roger that, boss.
What does a vacation look like in the McNamara household?
It varies. I mean, I am more of a mountain and a woods.
Yeah.
I would rather be on a river fly fishing. That would be mine. I think she would rather be on a sandy beach, in a blue water, which I have a hard time relaxing, and I'm always there's always a level of trepidation for me going on vacation. Once I'm there, I'm like, hell yeah, bro. I want to drink out of a piece of fruit, smoke 3 cigars a day, and just, eat with impunity, anything I want, and but it's like twisting my arm to get me there. But if I'm going to if she, I think she's got something she wants to rent a cabin, up in the mountains, and I'm all about that. I will look forward to that one. And I'll say to her is, hey, just make sure it's on a body of water, a lake or a river, so I could go fishing. Yeah. Because that's where I'm gonna be posted for the whole time. I'm not gonna leave that body of water.
Again, it's very similar to how I'd like to do a holiday. I like to. I work for myself as well, so I'll generally take a few long weekends a year is enough for me. But there'll usually be events, so a triathlon someplace or a mountain race someplace, France, whatever. Go there, climb hills. But I always keep one weekend a year. So me and a couple of friends will go someplace warm and just lie by a pool and order a fucking whole bunch of cocktails and just have fun. I like to have one, but I can't. Even then I get kind of agitated. I feel like I could be doing something but it's very. But once you get once you're six mojitos down, it's quite easy. It's quite easy to relax, right?
I have to really prep myself for the nothing to do thing. Like the beach, the island. That one there gives me, like I said, I get a little bit of trepidation because I'm thinking, man, am I going to be bored? Because all I'm going to be doing is laying in the sand and soaking up the rays. I'm going to look freaking awesome when I come back. but will I be bored? So I'll just take a shitload of books with me and maybe a sketch pad because I love sketching and drawing, and that'll usually be. I'm usually set. I'm set to jet then, and I'll be day drinking starting at 10 in the morning every day too. So
that's nothing better. Nothing better. Yeah. One of the best things, one of my favorite feelings in the world is when because everything, life is go for me. So when I get to Edinburgh Airport, going on holiday someplace, and you can get into there's a little pub, Wetherspoons in the Edinburgh Airport, and you go, okay, you can sit down there, and it's fucking 5:30 a.m. in the morning. It's like, I'll have a pint, thank you very much, and you can sit there and go, this is
my wife will say
that. Rules of life don't apply in an airport, do they? None of the rules of life apply.
That's right. My wife will remind me.
Yeah, do it. Bag of chips, £1.70. I'm doing it. I don't care.
What could you have? Sir, it's 5:30 in the morning. What would you like? I'd like a pint and a cheeseburger. Right. My good man.
Yep.
Yeah.
My wife says the same thing. When she forces me on vacation, and we get to the airport, we always get to the airport super, super early because I'm somebody who's never gonna rush. I freaking hate that. I think that's for ill-prepared people, somebody who's rushing all the time. But we'll get to like you said, it could be 6 a.m. and she'll walk me right over to a pub and she'll say, "Welcome to vacation." I'm like, "Yep. Double bourbon, please." Yep, absolutely.
And straight into it. I think we maybe lost. Oh, there, Chris is back.
I'm back. Yep. Sorry, internet crashed. Yeah. So what? What is your your day-to-day business? I know you do a lot of training and stuff like guns and stuff. So how does that kind of play out?
Well, so I run a couple courses a month, and those are typically 2-day courses. It varies though. For instance, I have one coming up in the week after next. It's a 4-day course with military folks, and they're coming down to visit with me, and I'll train those guys for 4 days. So it kind of varies. On days I don't have courses, the days are full, but I'm not. I have just hit a point. And this is because of 2020. Thank God for 2020, my best year ever. I love 2020. You know, people say, oh, 2020, I can't wait for it to be gone. But was it really that bad for you? You know, just because the news is telling you it's bad doesn't mean you have to believe it. It really wasn't that bad, you know, because it gave us an opportunity for self-improvement. You know, all that downtime, being locked up and all that shit. So I was able to streamline my entire industry of my way of doing things. I used to travel, or I used to do 4 training courses a month, and most of those were travel. So, and most of the travel ones were on a plane, not just driving on a plane. So there was absolutely zero freaking time for me. So 2020 saved my life because I'm not traveling anymore. I'm only doing 1 or 2 courses a month. And then the rest of it is consumed. I figured, you know, I do a lot of these. I do a lot of podcasts because why not? It's because it could probably help somebody else out. Because a great objective for me in life is to make people better people. It's very fulfilling. You know, if you could hold on to a portion of, you know, making a person a better person, you get a little. It's very fulfilling. So my day-to-day varies. So I always tell my kids this too. There's always stuff to be done. So I have to answer a lot of correspondence. So that's how usually it begins, my day begins with just a little bit of news and a little bit of because that's a job for me too, the social media thing. And then I get on the computer and I run a store, so I have to do fulfillment. I have to answer the email. I have to answer a lot of folks about inquiries about training. So there's that admin side of pushing paper, of writing them up, you know, price quotes and invoices and all that crap. So day to day varies. Of course, there's a workout, but that's also work for me because I have that business combat strength training. So I use the interweb as a conduit to push my combat strength training ebook and stuff. So I post the workouts on there, not necessarily every day, but at least a couple times a week, just to keep people's appetites, you know, just to keep them hungry. What else? 2020, I got custody of my kids also. So they're with me and Rebecca full time now. So there's little things with them, school, work, you know, driving lessons, all this crap. But they're busy days, but they're not as busy as they used to be. I have actual fuck off time now, which after working my ass off, I mean, I'll be 56 years old next month. And for the majority of my life, I've worked my ass off. And I'm really not anymore. I mean, I'm busy, but I'm not traveling. I'm not rushing. I'm not, you know, I'm not stressing. My stress level has gone down. My blood pressure is like a 25-year-old's blood pressure right now. It used to be high, but it's come way down. So everything's a lot better. Thankfully, in part to 2020 and that lockdown, which at the beginning was real hard because I lost a freaking assload of money. I had to refund dozens and dozens of people, you know, because they would send me registration fees. And so, man, that was tough, you know, having just watching my bank account dwindle, boom, 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 boom. But the thing is, it's not my money because I didn't deliver the product yet. So thankfully I didn't spend that shit, you know, I wasn't robbing Peter to pay Paul. I had it and I was able to refund everybody and still able to live off of my residual for another couple months without working. And I told Rebecca that, I said, this is such great peace of mind. You know, it's so comforting to know that we could do this. But at the same time, all right, so we're not working, so let's find something else to do. So, generated a couple new jobs. My business partner, CJ Ortiz, we built an online coaching group. I've been selling the resistance bands, and because a lot of home gyms, a lot of people are thinking, wow, man, I can't go to a gym. I need a home gym. So, yep. Shit's been good, man. It's been fun, and I'm always looking for more shit to jam into the pipeline. Just because I don't want to be comfortable. I like to be comfortable being uncomfortable, and I want to look for the next thing. I don't want to slow down and stop or just feel content and accept, because then you're living in that world where you're accepting mediocrity, and I don't want to be there.
Yeah.
I want to look for the next thing. So I've got pending projects too. So that's another thing that's day by day is pending projects. There's always shit to write because I'm working on there's 3 books I've been working on for about 3 years, and every once in a while I just go back to one of those and jot down a few lines or a few pages. So, So day to day is
awesome.
It's spread. Yeah. It's cool.
Sounds awesome, man. Yeah, I think it's amazing, how 2020 worked out for certain people. A lot of people, hated it. It was, the worst year of their life, and then I know a lot of people who really went, okay, fuck this. How do we adapt? How do we adjust to this? And did that. You're one of the people who actually went, okay, how do we, let's just find out, a way around this roadblock and figure it out. We had nothing to do, so hey man, let's start a podcast and start speaking to people, and here we are. So,
right on. Did you guys start yours in 2020 podcast?
Yeah,
cool.
We started it. Yeah, the lockdown started in the UK on the Thursday, and that Sunday morning, me and Chris did episode 1 together. So literally within 48 hours, we said, let's just do it. And everyone, we had a chat and said, who's going to listen to it? And then we thought, you know what? We don't give a fuck. Who cares if no one listens to it? We've fun doing it.
Do it, man.
And we were quite lucky. We were both lucky that we knew some interesting people to do the first 6 or 7 episodes just to get a feel for it. And then I just started sliding into people's DMs and asking them to come on.
What do you got to lose, bro? What do you got to lose? I mean, I get hit up all the freaking time. And a lot of times I want to do them, but I can't. I've got shit going on. But but what do you have to lose? I mean, shoot for the freaking stars.
I think one of the things that helps us in terms of getting, so we've spoke to quite a lot of American Special Forces guys, quite a lot of SEALs, and I think being Scottish, it's weird because Americans all love speaking to us because they're Scottish, and nobody in Scotland wants to do it.
Right.
Yeah, fucking hilarious. Like, what the fuck?
Yep.
It's
there is an allure to that, because when guys hit me up from different parts of the world, I am more likely to say yes because because it's exotic. You know what I mean? Yeah. And you're talking to a like your audience, probably the bulk of your audience, whether it's 100 people or 100,000 people, don't know who the hell I am. The majority of them. Where here, if I'm doing one with, some military guy, everybody knows, and they've probably heard the same shit that I've been saying, because they've heard other podcasts. So there is an allure to that, because I've done them with Australia, UK, I forget which Scandinavian. That's one of the somebody in Scandinavia. I did one with them. Okay. But yeah, all over the world. I can't recall who else right now. But
one of the things that's the most hilarious. So Ali gets all the analytics and stuff. And one of the funniest things is when he messages me and says, "There's another country listens." I think we 37 countries around the world listen to this. It's fucking that's hilarious. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
I still think the funniest one was where I got the notification through that it genuinely came up, Pat, on the analytics of the podcast. New subscriber in the Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan. And me and Chris are just laughing like, why is someone in Jordan listening to 2 idiots from Scotland talking to, where does that even come from? The Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan. Someone in the Middle East has been like, Silly Goose Gang podcast with two Scottish guys. Yeah, I'll put that on today.
Put it on, man.
Subscribe to the podcast.
Oh
Amazing.
man, that's funny as shit. Yeah, the beauty of the interweb, it's so freaking awesome because you use it right, you get to meet a lot of good people, a lot of cool people. And it really does make the world a small place. Like for when I was telling you about little kids sending me clips, basic dude stuff, they're all over the planet. And some of them are speaking in their native tongue too, and they'll culminate by saying basic dude stuff in English. And I don't know what the fuck they're doing. They're digging in a ditch or some shit, or playing in a sandbox, and they're talking. And then all of a sudden they'll look at the camera and go basic dude stuff, and it's badass, man.
Have you ever thought about taking that idea further and like actually showing people how to do the
Yes.
I always make one of the things that it made me remember. I was in a garage, so I own a towing company. It's one of the things that I do, and I was in a garage, a main dealership, and there was a guy who came in, a fully grown man, he's fucking 40s, 50s, whatever, and he said to the girl on reception, like, could somebody fill up my washer jets for my windshield? And I'm just standing there going, did he just?
Yep, he just said that.
Could he just ask somebody to fill up a fucking bottle with water?
Yep.
Like, what the fuck? How do you get to your age? I actually was curious, like, how do you get to your age and not? You don't know how? Do you know how to open the bonnet, like, or the hood? You know how? What the fuck?
Yeah, right. No, but and it's becoming more and more prevalent, right? Especially with Generation Zers. So I have a couple Generation Zers, and they've always been able to swipe right. They've never been bored. They've always had technology in their hand, and it used to be necessary, that we perform our own maintenance on vehicles, on our lawnmowers and stuff like that. It was necessary. Everybody knew how to do it. It was scheduled. You checked your own oil. I mean, it's just something that it was a way of life. But yes, so to answer your question, one of the things I'm doing is using that basic dude stuff on like IG and on YouTube as a conduit for my coaching squad. Because in the coaching squad, I'll do, like, when I show, for instance, a primitive deadfall for small game, it'll be a 7-second clip. But on the coaching squad site, it'll be a 5-minute video. So, or when I say sharpening a knife is basic dude stuff, 7 seconds. When I do it on my coaching squad, it's a 5-minute video. So, I'll put that in the notes. I'm like, hey, if you want more of this, there's detailed notes, like baking an apple pie, basic dude stuff. But there's a 30-minute video of me baking that pie, on my coaching squad. So I use that as a conduit. I'm not sure. Here's the thing. I don't know where that's going to take me. I just know that it's cool, and I got a trademark on it now. Yeah, I got a trademark on it. Yeah.
Very fucking cool.
So because it could, I don't know. It could be TV. It could be a book. But right now it's apparel, and I figure I better secure it before somebody else does. So
absolutely, man. And you know what? And I think 2020 only highlighted the fact that a lot of people are super vulnerable. They have no fucking idea how to deal with nothing. Like, do you have a few $100 lying about in case of emergency? No.
Right.
Well, what the fuck?
Yes.
What are you going to do?
Yeah. See, I wrote about that in, I forget, I don't have a copy of it here. I wrote a book called Sentinel years ago, maybe 2011 or 12, and I put all that stuff in there.
Okay.
How you need to be prepared. You don't need to be a prepper, but you need to be prepared for small shit to take care of your family. You need to have cash on hand in the house. You need to have, the cars in your driveway should have gas in them. They should never be on E in your driveway. You should have medical gear. You should know how to do some basic medicine. You should have a little bit of, a stockpile of food just for a few days. You should have toilet paper, shit like that, So all that stuff was in there. So, when did you guys get locked down? March of 2020-ish?
Yeah.
Yeah. So same with us. It was,
yeah.
Yep. Day before St. Patrick's Day for us. Yep. So 16th. And so many people got caught with their pants down. For me and my bride, we were in hog heaven because we do prepping and we garden all year long. You know, we have a winter garden, summer garden, and we've got stockpiles of stuff. So the best part of this is cool because we had a dually here. So not only were we in lockdown and, you know, the grocery stores were empty because people were freaking out that it was Armageddon or some shit, that it was the plague. But here in my town, we had a power outage for 4 days too, which was cool. I thought it was like, hell yeah, man, this is the perfect storm here. We got everything, and I was we were brewing beer, man, while people were freaking out. We were loving life. I mean, it was just, I thought it was the most awesome thing. You know, I was still brewing her coffee, you know, in the morning, but I was just doing it on flame instead of in a Keurig machine. Yeah. But it's good to be self-sufficient and to have some kind of, like you said, just know how to do things. Especially, I'm going to use that one, the filling up the windshield washer. I'm going to use that one as basic dudes because I've done car things, but I haven't done that. Checking all the fluids, you know, is basic dude stuff.
Check the fluids, man. Like, and it's and one of the funniest things I always remember is, you know, I had to go pick up a guy's car, and you know, it broke down on the Forth Road Bridge, which takes, you know, from Fife where we are over to Edinburgh, and the guy was genuinely a fucking neurosurgeon. And he had filled his car up with oil, but he had filled it with oil, and it just fucking hydraulic locked. And I was like, what the fuck? You didn't think there was a level. You work on people's brains, and you didn't realize that those two lines on the dipstick are for a reason. So just fill it up, put the lid on. It doesn't work anymore. What the fuck?
Sometimes the smartest people in the world are the dumbest.
Hilarious, man. Like, what the fuck? So, you know, I think there's definitely some mileage in, you know, in taking that, you know, the basic dude stuff further, 100%. And you know, and a lot of different directions. So, you know, vehicle stuff, and then general house stuff, and then how to be a man stuff, how to garden stuff. There's so many little areas in that where you could take that really far and do wonderful things with it.
Especially,
how to be a gentleman.
A lot of people don't know how to do that and haven't been taught that generationally. You know, their dads haven't taught them it, so now they're becoming parents themselves, and now there's a risk of it missing that generation as well. So, massively important.
Yeah, and a lot of those guys I have. There's about I think I have 500 people in my coaching squad now. So, you know, I'm putting out a lot of information for them on video, but they don't fall into that category. There's a lot of experience in there with the members of my squad. There's a massive freaking knowledge base. It's ridiculous. But yeah, it's funny. You never know the impact you're going to have on people. So back to that basic dude stuff, because it's freaking cool. This happens so often where I'll say, you know, rotating out your storage of gas is basic dude stuff. Guys will write me and they'll go, "Oh, thanks for reminding me. Damn it, man. It's been, you know, months since I've, you know, rotated my gas cans." Or I did one where I said, having a fire extinguisher in your kitchen is basic dude stuff. A guy messaged me like 2 months later. He goes, "Hey, I saw that episode. I put a fire extinguisher in my kitchen. I had a kitchen fire and I was able to put it out because of that fire extinguisher." So you never know, you know, the effect, but that happens all the freaking time. Hey, thanks for doing that one because I forgot and I needed to do it, you know, and it helped me in this situation. So yeah.
And again, this goes full circle right back to the beginning of the podcast. So because you have, you know, I don't know what it is, like approaching 500,000 followers, you know, on Instagram. So you have an outreach. So, you know, I love the idea of what you're doing, but I could never make that work because I have fucking no followers. So you have that outreach. Right. So then it becomes important for you to do that, you know, to put these videos out there. So that becomes where it becomes really important for, you know, guys like you who have a big following and know how to do these things to fucking, you know, put it out there. It's really awesome.
Yeah, and you got to, you know, like I said, you got to keep it clean because my IG, I've got almost 500,000, and then I've got, you know, other platforms I'm on, and then I've got a big following on YouTube as well. So it's got to be clean. It's got to be palatable, you know, and
Yeah.
your delivery it's important to be light, you know, to not take yourself too seriously and to inject a little humor in it. Because that captivates people too. You know, they want to come
100%.
back and see that kind of crap. So
I think you do a really fantastic job. You know, of you know, making very good points, but also being, you know, kind of silly with it and funny with it, and you know, I think it's you know, it works for a broad range of people, which is, you know, ultimately what you have to do to spread a message, right? So, you're doing a really fantastic job. With
thanks,
that
man.
stuff.
Appreciate it.
Yep. Long may it continue.
Yep.
Yeah. I think we've just went over an hour now, Pat. So I think you have to go and collect the kids and do adult stuff?
I got a boogie in a couple minutes. So yeah, but
Yeah,
Well-
just as wind it down, Pat, we always just ask, just because you've been talking about your basic dude stuff, and we'd love to send some more eyes your way, because as you say, potentially people that listen to us for some reason don't know who you are. Clearly they're imbeciles and idiots. But for those imbeciles and idiots that don't know you, what's your Instagram or social media? And we'll tag this into the notes, and we'll tag it in when we release the podcast at the weekend as well.
right on. So my IG is at TMAX Inc. TMACSINC. And I'm also a member of the at University of Badassery. Yep.
Good podcast.
CJ,
I
so,
recommend it.
Yep. And then my YouTube channel is Pat Mac, PATMAC.
And now, did you say that you did some basic dude stuff merch? Because I'm going to go and buy one of those T-shirts if you have them right now.
Oh yeah. They're up on my store, on my link tree on my IG. Yeah, you hit that store.
Okay.
There's basic dude stuff cutting boards, bro. Coasters.
Yeah.
That's a... Oh
Yeah.
fuck, man! I'm going to buy one of those. So if you...
Damn it, you locked up again, Chris.
Oh, I froze. I was actually looking at your site just before the podcast,
Yeah.
and the stuff on there is tremendous. Chris, you'll love it, mate. Honestly, the stuff on his site is incredible.
Yeah.
Oh, he
it's
was
pretty
up
cool.
again. He's too excited. He keeps freezing up.
I'll keep freezing up, but we've timed it perfectly. But I'm going to go...
Damn it.
Fucking keeps
You're
cutting
back.
off, man. We're ending this at the...
Yeah, we're ending this at the right time. Chris is freezing up.
Yeah, right.
Connection. Okay,
Yep.
well, Pat, look, I know you need to get, so we really appreciate you taking the time to join us tonight. It's been absolutely awesome. We'll get this cleaned up. We'll tag you in it and get it released. But episode 56, Pat McNamara, done and dusted. Thank you very much, sir. It's been a genuine pleasure.
Hey, thanks to you guys too. Appreciate it. Glad to be here, and best of luck to you in your endeavors. Rock and roll, baby. Whoo.
The Silly Goose Gang Podcast.